Hi everybody, it's great to be able to read to you today one of my favourite stories of all time. One of the stories I loved reading my kids when they were little. And this book is about 20 years old, probably even older. And it's a little bit tattered, a couple of pages held together by sticky tape, and some pages even got bits missing, but I'm sure you'll enjoy the story. You probably already know it because it's a great story. It's written by Maurice Sendak. Where the Wild Things Are. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. Here he is, making mischief. Looks like he's having a great time. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." And he was sent to bed without eating anything. Looks a bit sad here, doesn't he? That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. We can see it starting to grow. And it grew. Lots and lots of trees. And it grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. You can't even tell that it's his bedroom anymore, can you? And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. Here he is in his boat. It's even got his name on it. It's his private boat. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. You can see he's arrived. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roar and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. They're looking pretty wild, aren't they? Until Max said, "Be still." And he tamed them with a magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened, and they called him the most wild thing of all. I wonder how long you can stare without blinking till your eyes water. And they made him king of all the wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. And so here they are, having a wild rumpus. Looks like they're having a bit of a party and dancing around. And here's Max wearing his crown because he's the king of all the wild things. And they're hanging from the vines and the trees. Look like they're having a great time, don't they? Max has got a smile on his face. And here it looks like they are saying how great you are. Now stop, Max said, and he sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. That sounds familiar, doesn't it? And Max, the king of all the wild things, was lonely, and he wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. I wonder where that is. Then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of all the wild things. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." You can see my book is a bit wrecked here. The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max got into his private boat and waved goodbye. And he sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. Here he is, heading, where do you think he's heading? And into the night of his very own room, where he found his supper waiting for him. Here it is. And it was still hot. Isn't that a great story? Where the wild things are. I wonder if you could come up with a different ending to the story. Maybe you could video yourself doing a different ending. Or maybe you could act out a different ending, pretend you're Max. Or you might change Max, the character, to somebody else. If you're a bit older, maybe you could write a different ending to the story. I hope you enjoyed that book today. One of my favourites. I wonder if it's your favourite too.